Hey Grover, what's your favorite food? Oh gee, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of fond of tuna. Eh? Psh.
It's time for Tuner Theory Tech Tip Talk.
Howdy folks, Jake here with BanjoBenClark.com, and today we're going to talk about something that comes up quite often here at the store, and that is the topic of tuning machines. Now that's not to be confused with the electronic tuners that give you the reading of the note where you can get in tune. I'm talking about the actual mechanical device on your headstock that the string attaches to that you crank down to get the string up to tension. So we're going to just do a basic crash course in this. We're by no means going to take this to a Jedi level. So I'm sorry, don't expect to learn how to shoot laser beams or light beams or whatever they are out of your tuners. I don't even know how to do that. I did it one time by accident on stage and it fried the mixer board and everyone was really mad at me. So that's not what this is. This is just a basic overview. We're going to cover things like quality of the machines, what to look for if you're inspecting an instrument, as far as function, quality, maybe any damage that's occurred to them or wear, if you want to put it that way. We're also going to cover different types of tuners, maybe what some advantages are of one versus another, and also terminology related to tuners like ratios and things like that. So stay tuned and we'll tell you everything that we know, and what we don't know we'll make up. Okay, probably the best place to start, so we have a little foundation to build on, is in the terminology category. And very specifically, I want to talk to you about ratios, tuning ratios. What does that mean? That's probably my most common question here at the store concerning tuners. People will say, I see this tuner has an 18-to-1 ratio. What in the world does that mean, and how does that help me? So the answer is actually quite simple. What I have here is arguably the most common type of tuner for any kind of modern instrument. You'll see a tuner of this type on mandolins, banjos, guitars, dobros, classical guitars, resophonic guitars, etc., etc. So it's the type that has your worm gear, which attaches to your tuning key, your button, that you actually twist. And that worm gear interfaces with a cog gear that's attached to the bottom of your tuning post. So let's say like an 18-to-1 ratio, which is a very common guitar tuner ratio. What that means is quite simply this. For every 18 complete revolutions of that worm gear, for every 18 complete turns of your button, your tuning post that the string is attached to makes one complete revolution. Okay? So that's a very common guitar ratio, 18-to-1. There are others too. I mean, there's all kinds of ratios, but that's what it means. So, for example, on banjos and things of that nature, a very common ratio for your banjo would be a 4-to-1. So for every 4 complete revolutions of the button, your tuning post moves 1 revolution. Or if you go back to the old friction tuners, like on violins and old traditional instruments like that, it's literally 1-to-1. Because it's all the same piece. It's just kind of held in place by friction, and as much as you turn it, that's how far the post is going to turn. So what does that mean? What does all this translate to? It's fairly simple. The higher the ratio, the more precise your tuning can be. So if you have an 18-to-1 or 24-to-1 ratio tuner or something like that, that means you can move that key quite a bit to get a very fine adjustment on your post. If you have like your 4-to-1 ratio or your 1-to-1 ratio, like we were talking about, you have to very, very carefully barely move it at all, or you'll go too far in some cases, So that's the difference. That's how that all boils down. So anyway, that'll give us a little foundation moving forward. That way when I throw those ratios out, that'll make a little more sense whenever we're talking about the various types of tuners. So stay tuned. We'll get into that here in a minute.